The Novelizers. This week on the show, Wet Hot American Summer's David Wain, Drunk History's Ursula Lawrence, plus Grant O'Brien. It's the Novelizers.
Don't want your popcorn, don't want your milk duds, don't want my shoes stuck in pools of sticky cola. Don't show me romance, don't show me fist fights, just show me where it's printed out under the book lights. Yeah, baby, novelize the movie. Give me sentences, paragraphs, nothing to see. Novelize the movie. Write a book and turn it into a podcast.
Welcome to the Novelizers. I'm Stephen Levinson. Here with me as usual, the fabulous Dave Hill. Hi, Dave. How's it going?
Hey, Stephen. I'm pretty good. Thanks for asking. How are you?
I am great. This is the novel. I'm great because I'm on the Novelizers, a podcast where we take classic films, we turn them into funny audiobooks. They're narrated by celebrities. We talk to people who made the movie. What movie are we even doing this season?
Glad you asked, Stephen. Dirty Dancing. Pretty much the Citizen Kane of movies. If Citizen Kane itself weren't already a movie.
Yeah, I agree. Bold statement there, but I will agree.
Yeah, I'll say it again.
I know this is an audio-only podcast, and not to put you on the spot, but can you do a Dirty Dance live for the audience?
I mean, like right now?
Right now.
Absolutely not.
Audio only. Okay.
Oh, yeah, I just did. In that case, I just did. I mean, I'm always kind of dirty dancing if you really think about it.
Dirty dancing down the street.
My life is just one big dirty dance.
Yeah. And you're not even breaking a sweat.
Nope.
Wow. It takes practice.
Mm-hmm.
Here's some well-practiced people. Smooth transition.
Some of the greatest in the biz
are on the show tonight. Who are they?
I'm glad you asked, Stephen. David Wain, fellow Clevelander. He's a founding member of The State, a writer, director, and actor, including, but not limited to, Wet Hot American Summer, Role Models, and They Came Together. His website's davidwain.com. Grant O'Brien, he's best known for his work with Dropout, where he co-hosts Dirty Laundry and writes breaking news. Check out his podcast, What Have You Been Drinking? About cocktails and why we love them. His Instagram is at Pictures of Grant. We've also got Ursula Lawrence, who's written for Drunk History, Adam Ruins Everything, and a few other things that didn't get made but still got her Guild Healthcare, so really no big deal. Go to ursulalawrence.com to find out more about her and her plot for world domination.
Wow, I'm blown away by these guests. But
yeah, same.
Before we hear about the chapter that they novelized for us, how do we support the show, Dave?
Oh, they got to sign up for your Patreon. What, do they want your kids to starve? I don't think so.
Why would they want that? Yes, sign up for our Patreon. And this is episode 6. We are nicely into the movie Dirty Dancing. We've met our characters. Where are we in the show today?
Oh, my gosh. This freaks me out even talking about it. But I'll tell you where we are, Stephen. Baby manages to secure the money for the abortion from her father, although she doesn't tell him what the money is for. Penny can't take the money because of the Sheldrake performance. Duh. But Baby offers to fill in. Johnny, guess what he does? Vehemently refuses.
Let's hear that chapter.
David Wain, novelize us.
Chapter 6, Make It Rain, Baby, novelized by Ursula Lawrence, narrated by David Wain. It was Robbie's 3rd summer as a waiter at Kellerman's. He had worked his way up from bagel unpacker to bagel putter in basketer to bagel hander-outer, and he displayed the cockiness of someone who had worked hard to get where they were. Outwardly, he was a man about town, a winner. Inwardly, he wasn't so sure. He stared at the bagels. How did he get here? He took another bagel from the basket and set it onto another table on yet another day. The Sisyphean nature of his struggle was not lost on him. Every day he put down the bagels just to watch them gobbled up and then have to start all over the next day. His mind drifted. What purpose did this serve, really? What did anything matter in a world totally devoid of meaning? Would he ever be truly happy? Could any man ever be? But before his brain could get to the violent, deafening silence of the universe, he thought, do they have to eat them? Why can't they just look at them? He glared at Mrs. Greenblatt as she gingerly sipped her hot water with lemon. Who cares if she survived Dachau, he thought. Why does she ask for a bialy every day when she knows we only have bialys on Wednesdays? Sometimes the world was too much. Of course, not everyone was overwhelmed by existential dread and despair that morning. For her part, Baby arrived at breakfast with an absolute singularity of purpose, to not get stuck with a goddamn cinnamon fucking raisin bagel. She also needed to ask Robbie to pay for Penny's abortion. Luckily for Baby, Robbie was on bagel duty that day. This would be easy. Hey, Robbie. Baby sidled up next to him and scanned the bagel basket. Still at least 2 pumpernickels and an egg left. She was optimistic. So, I know about Penny and I just think you should No way. Robbie, you can't just abandon her. And who are you to tell me about right and wrong? Baby's mind raced. What was he implying? Had he not seen her put the bagel back yesterday after she picked out every exposed raisin and replaced them with capers for no real reason? Robbie continued, I didn't spend the summer hauling toasted bagels just to help a floozy out of a jam. So many questions for Baby. Were they really already toasted? You haul bagels? How heavy are they? Those questions would go unanswered, of course, much as they would for viewers of the film version of this book, since hauling toasted bagels is an actual quote. Stop thinking about bagels, Baby. Baby pulled herself back to reality. She needs help, Robbie. I know you have the money. Listen, Baby, some people are meant to survive and thrive, and some just can't cut it. There are weak and strong, smart and not smart, tall and short, fast and slow, up and down, people who are good at saying opposites and people who aren't old enough to talk. Don't you see? You can be a hero or a zero, a hater or, like me, a waiter. It's science. Here, read about it. He pulled a copy of The Fountainhead out of his pants, and unsettlingly close to his junk at that, and handed it to Baby. Careful, though. There are notes in the margins. This is my textbook. Robbie was a double major in sociobiology and trickle-down economics, and they only had one textbook. Baby flipped through the pages. To be fair, there were notes, but they were like property of Robbie, and boobs, and boobies, and confusingly just book. Baby was disgusted. Like all inherently good people, she knew there were 2 things you could do when someone tells you to read Ayn Rand. You could explain to them that the market is a construct that relies on the regulatory apparatus of the state to sustain the illusion of its existence, or you could pour a big jug of ice water on their crotch. She chose the latter. Baby wasn't finished. She needed to say something, and she needed to make it count. She needed to use a scary voice. But which one? It wasn't hard to choose, taking inspiration from an actual episode of The Twilight Zone she had enjoyed recently, in which the soul of someone's cranky uncle is transferred to a robot and then repeatedly demands hot chocolate in the most menacing way possible. She spoke deeply and methodically. Listen to me, you sociopathic shit brain. Never talk to me again. Never even look in my sister's direction, and give me a fucking onion bagel right now. She was done here. Robbie wasn't going to give her the money. Penny was right. But Baby had an ace up her sleeve. Her daddy. Baby's daddy. Not Baby's baby daddy. Her mother's baby daddy, who was also Baby's daddy. Anyway, it wasn't hard to find him. She knew exactly where he'd be, on the 5th hole. Jake Hausman loved nothing more than a good game of golf, and these few weeks were the only time of year he got to play. He especially loved the course at Kellerman's. It was as verdant and as hilly as any of the clubs he was barred from joining back home. Or at least he assumed it was. Like every other Jewish, Black, or Hispanic person in the tri-state area, he'd never seen the inside of one. This one had 11 holes, so probably normal? He'd never know, of course, but he just decided to enjoy himself rather than dwell on the sanctioned institutional bias that still somehow existed. Once he cleared that quota for Harvard Med School, that kind of thing was definitely more a YP than an MP. Besides, a little anti-Semitism never hurt anyone. Jake steadied the club and prepared to swing, and then, "Why can't I do this?" Marge's voice broke his focus. His wife hated golf, yet there she was. "You have to put the ball on the ground, Margie." He wasn't wrong. She was trying to hit it out of her own hand, and that's not a thing. "Hi, Daddy." Baby approached with her biggest favorite daughter and knows it smile. He smiled back. "If your mother ever leaves me, it'll be for Arnold Palmer." He had made this joke before. At the library, he'd say she was going to leave him for Ernest Hemingway. When they went horseback riding, he'd say John Wayne. At the dry cleaners, he'd say, "If your mother ever leaves me, it'll be for Morty Stimson, the owner of this dry cleaning establishment." But that one was less a joke and more something that had actually happened. "Daddy, someone's in trouble," he said in silent prayer that it was Morty Stimson. "Who?" "A friend. I need money. Not much. Just $250. "That's a lot of money, baby." No kidding. Today, adjusted for inflation, that would be about $1 bajillion. Jake paused. It was easily enough to hire a world-class assassin who could absolutely make it look like just another industrial accident at a dry cleaner's. She really was his best daughter. Marge's shrill squawk pierced his brain once again. "Stop slouching, baby!" It wasn't clear if Marge was talking to her daughter or her husband, even though it was weird to affectionately refer to him as baby since that was her daughter's name, not to mention that her marriage was just scar tissue and phantom pain where her heart used to be. Who even hurt who first? "Slouching!" her mother yelled again. Truly, her single most important, and for the sake of this book, only characteristic was that she was extremely good at only saying things mid-century mothers said. She was of her mid-century moment like a beautiful Danish modern chair. A beautiful Danish modern chair that made incredible chicken a la king. Baby's mother never took for granted that they were living in a golden age of faux fancy chicken dishes. "What do you need it for?" Baby's father asked. "I can't say." "You always say you'll tell me everything." Baby sighed. He frequently took this out of context. Baby had said those exact words to him, several times in fact, but always when asking whether it was time to watch I Will Tell You Everything, a short-lived 1950s game show hosted by a chain-smoking Jack Parr and loosely modeled on the HUAC hearings. Jake Hausman was worried. What could she possibly want with that money? An exotic pet? A fur coat? An exotic pet to make a fur coat with? A ham radio? "Is it illegal?" he asked, leaning into the exotic pet theory. Baby paused just long enough to suggest that anything she said immediately after was definitely not true. "No, Daddy." Oh, what the hell, he didn't care. He'd have it for her later. They hugged. Marge had appeared behind him. They both glared at her, and then lovingly toward each other. It was weird. Baby picked up the money at the front desk that evening. Judging from the thickness of the envelope, her father had requested it all in small bills. He had ultimately come to the conclusion that she was going to a strip club and just wanted to make things as easy as possible for his favorite girl. He hadn't really missed the mark by much. The staff lounge was also a dark room full of barely clothed people doing overtly sexual dances while looking totally unhappy. She headed up the stairs, steeled herself, and entered. The room was dark. The music was loud. Body parts everywhere she looked. She shook off the memory of that summer camp production of South Pacific that went so terribly wrong and forged ahead. Everywhere around her, couples danced, close to one another, so close their bodies seemed to become one, throbbing, writhing, Hieronymus Bosch goes Catskills. Grim. And of course, across the room, Johnny and Penny danced together in totally a normal way for strictly platonic friends to dance. Baby approached them, tapped Penny on the shoulder, and motioned for her to follow. "Here's the money. Have fun. I mean, not fun, but like, enjoy New Paltz. I'm not sure." Johnny's class resentment seethed. He knew where she had gotten the money. The only thing his old man had ever given him was a pompadour. Not that he styled it or taught Johnny how to. He literally passed on a congenital pompadour that Johnny would be saddled with for the rest of his life. "Let me guess, Daddy." Baby ignored him. She didn't care. She had saved the day. She hadn't even joined the Peace Corps yet, and here she was already saving people. Watch out, Swaziland. "Sorry." Penny handed the envelope back to Baby. Baby was confused. Luckily, Billy had appeared out of nowhere, ready once again to fulfill his important role as Mr. Expository Guy. "The doctor is only going to be in New Paltz on Thursday. Thursday is when Penny and Johnny do their mambo act at the Sheldrake. The Sheldrake is another hotel, and if they don't show up, they lose their salary and next summer's job too." Baby thought fast. "Can't someone else fill in?" "No, Miss Fix-It." Johnny was mad. Baby's heart fell at his tone, but then leapt when she realized he was also a fan of the Mr. Men books, something in common. She made a mental note to get his take on Mr. Messy, Mr. Grumpy, Mr. Tall, and last year's sleeper hit, Miss Chatterbox, if she could ever get him alone. "No one else is available. We all have jobs here." Baby looked around the several dozen young women dancing within feet of them, seemingly available in the evening and probably game to learn mambo, but that was neither here nor there. "What about her?" Billy pointed at Baby, advancing the plot forward in a way only he could. "Her!" Johnny's response was a little extra. He really leaned into it. "She can't dance. She can't even do the merengue. That's the craziest thing I ever heard." It was sort of crazy. Not make a 2-hour movie about Jews and abortion without saying the words Jews or abortion even once crazy, but crazy. Penny was getting frustrated. Johnny, I really need this. Johnny's fury grew. No, not a 9. No way, Jose. No. Oh, no. Never, no. Abso-fucking-lutely fucking not. Penny clarified. So, just so I understand, you prefer that I carry this baby to term so you don't have to dance with this girl one time. Johnny didn't miss. Correctamundo, toots.
Everybody sleeps, but no two people sleep alike. At Coop Sleep Goods, we celebrate the way you sleep differently. We believe everyone deserves a great night's sleep with their own pillow. And the adjustable, customizable Coop pillow makes it easy. Whether you're a side sleeper, back sleeper, or even a starfish, we've got the perfect pillow for you. Crafted with our innovative memory foam and microfiber fill, our hypoallergenic pillows adjust to you, not the other way around. Just tailor the fill for the perfect fit. Add some in, take some out, until your pillow's just right for you. See why luxury hotels and spas worldwide feature Coop Sleep Goods and why we have tens of thousands of 5-star reviews. With our 100-night risk-free trial, you've got nothing to lose, except those sleepless nights. Get 25% off your first order when you visit coopsleepgoods.com/comedy. That's COOP sleepgoods.com/comedy.
Thank you, David Wain and Ursula Lawrence. Of course, every week on the show, we hear from someone who actually worked on the film Dirty Dancing. I can't wait to hear the interview. I always learn so much about how movies get made. Not the way you'd think. Let's hear that interview.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the interview portion of the Novelizers. I am Kevin Carter, and I'm here with Marvin Henderson, who was, get this, the person who the campsite for the movie Dirty Dancing, he owned it. Mm-hmm. It was his location. It was his place. Marvin, how's it going today?
Oh, it's going fabulously. Thank you. I'm a little nervous. Thank you for having me.
It's okay. You know, so we're gonna take our time. You know, so okay. we're gonna ease you through this.
Okay.
I want to say it's pretty cool that you actually own the place that the whole movie was pretty much based around. How was that experience?
Oh gosh, I can't take that much credit for it. You know, they came and they saw my piece of property. You know, mm-hmm. my little corner of heaven, mm-hmm. and I think they were inspired. You know, I don't blame them. It's lovely. If you've seen the film,
yes.
Up in the mountains, right there on the water. We have a beautiful staff. You know, we have croquet. There's all sorts of wonderful things that we can do just all summer long. We think it's terrific.
So, question: is your space just the space for the movie, or do you actually do in real life what they were doing in the movie?
No, we have in fact. They only filmed on just a small part of the land. No, we do. Okay. We have a resort where mm-hmm. entire families come all summer mm-hmm. long and take dance lessons and singing lessons. You know, and I remember when I opened it, everyone said, Marv, you're going to lose your shirt. No family wants to come and spend their entire summer taking dance lessons. But I guess we just lucked into something, you know. We have beautiful dance floors, beautiful waiters, handsome waiters, you know, slim waiters, and gosh, the greenery is just gorgeous.
Yeah, so, yeah, that's good. Good greenery. How did you decide to do this?
It found me. I was out. I remember before I owned the camp. Now, mm-hmm. I was up in the woods. You know, I brought my wife Anne and I had my daughter Abigail, and they weren't enjoying themselves quite so much. Mm-hmm. I could tell. I really personally enjoy arts and crafts. And I know that you know, Anne, that's not really her thing. She sort of likes to slip a maitre d' her hotel room key and have them come and see her at night. And they just had a ball that summer. And suddenly I know I'm onto something with, you know, combining this beautiful part of the world, beautiful. And, you know, getting all these ladies filled up. Okay.
Yes. So I'm going to ask you a question. Was Dirty Dancing based off of your life?
I can't claim the whole movie. No, but the owner of the camp, I believe the character's name is Kellerman, Mr. Kellerman. Mm-hmm. That's me to a T. But no, it was exciting. It was very exciting. But no. Most of that's a work of fiction. All the dancing.
Because it seems like with having this type of profession, this type of
Certainly.
place, you're going to get people that don't want to be there, right?
That aren't
How
excited.
do you handle that? Yeah.
Well, like I said, it's right there in my family. My wife and daughter said that nature isn't for me. No. So typically, what we'll do sometime in the first week. Is we'll call everybody down to the boat deck. We got these beautiful boats, and I'll just take the sea hose and spray the entire staff so that their clothes gets real clingy, and you can because well, picture it, because of their muscles and those tight shirts then stick to their muscles, so everyone can.
Now these are the guys with the tight shirts and the muscles that you recruited, correctly? Okay. Just want to make sure. Please continue. Just want to make sure.
Absolutely. And, we spray them with the hose and they, they're there and they're saying, and they sort of, they pop their shirts off because suddenly they're soaking wet. And I find that's generally a very good, a hook, as they say. You got to get them hooked. Got to get them hooked. Yeah. Not much of a on, but no, you got to get them in. So I do. I show them there, or sometimes white briefs. I'll have them walk around in. On steak night, we'll do that. We'll do that with the briefs. So little bloody steak and those white briefs. It's strange, but it's fun.
Yeah.
And then we do the puzzles. Yeah. We have wonderful, complicated puzzles. I don't know if you've seen. They have 3-dimensional puzzles now. Okay. So the fathers and the sons and I will sit and we'll do some puzzles.
Have you really been on social media to see how the world is now? I just want to make sure because a lot of what you're saying, like I said, was cool in 1987. I don't know, how that goes today. Have you got any backlash on how things are?
Well, my daughter lets me look at her Hotmail groups.
Hotmail.
I check out a Hotmail group every now and again. There's one for leaf peeping, which we're coming up on the time of year where there's wonderful leaf peeping, and the boys have hormone changes, and so that's good for the ladies too. But we have a ball.
I have a question. What is leaf peeping?
Leaf peeping. Well, the glory of the fall, the absolute bounty of the harvest, when the landscape just starts to shout with the golds and the reds. People come and they sit and they just enjoy the nature of the leaves. We have some bird blinds actually as well, where people can sit, get a little bit of solitude, and either they can sit by themselves and just look out and enjoy the sights and the smells of the leaves. Whatever happens in the bird blinds is fine. We want people to feel joyful when they leave. Yeah. And I'm so glad that that's what's communicated by the film as well.
Oh, that was okay. Yeah. Question for you.
Sure.
Let's say you got some guys or whatever. They've been there for maybe 5-6 years. Their muscles, everything like that. And let's say do your employees age out? I guess that's the question.
You answered your own question. 5-6 years is way too. No, around 22, 23 is when we start to let people go because, you know how men age like milk. They just start to fall apart when they get into their 20s. No. We want young bucks, nice, real stallions who have stamina, who aren't going to get too sweaty, who could help us crack some of the puzzles. We're up near Cornell, has one of the great hotel management schools, and so I'll go and I'll visit and I'll say, I own a resort, and we'd love to have you up there for the summer, and we'll have the boys come, and then I'll send them a picture of their families and say, you have to work for me or I'm going to do something to your family. And they stay and they have a ball, and that's, I think, a good experience for them, before they get out there in the real world. We want to set them up for success.
Let's say I want to join. Let me not say join.
How old are you?
I'm 38.
Okay. Well, you could do a puzzle then.
But I mean, it seems like it's more to do. I've done ballroom dancing before. I feel like I could be a good asset to the team.
Yeah. You know, and I think that actually is a bit of a misconception that the movie set us up for, which is fine. No, ballroom dancing isn't necessarily something that we focus. We have the classes, but my goodness, those are professional dancers in the film. We can't do any of that. Not too much dancing. So don't be nervous if you're going to come up.
So how did you land on this like was it money in the family, or how did you get to a point where you could own something like this?
I am independently wealthy. No, the Henderson name goes back to the Mayflower. I don't like to make it out to be all about money, but no, it is a very expensive place to come and visit as well. We charge for the summer, and people come for the whole summer. We charge upwards of $75,000.
Damn. I mean, whoa.
Well, think about that. Yeah, I do think it's a value proposition. You know, we have individual cabins for all the families, and of course, thick waiters.
When it comes to the payment of your staff, especially the men who seem to be doing a lot of work, are they paid well or anything like that? Or, because you're getting them and then you're letting them go at 22, 23 years old. So are they getting compensated enough for this type of position, I guess
we like to think of it as real world experience. It's a starter job. We don't think of it as something someone's going to live on. I think that's maybe a problem with kids today, is they expect these jobs to pay their rent, or what our exchange is that you can say that you have this resort experience.
Yeah, that's great.
It is great.
It seems like you have a very very established business plan, especially if you've been doing it since the 50s.
Well, it's a lot of work, but if you rest, you rust. That's what I say.
Yes, yes, that's great. Mr. Henderson, I want to thank you for joining us for this very alarming and interesting conversation.
Well, thank you so much. And if I may, if anyone's interested in joining, you can join our Hotmail group, and we'll send out a post on the Hotmail group about how to register for the camp. We'll do a wire transfer for the $75,000.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to go to this camp, get a Hotmail. I'm Kevin Carter. This is Marvin Henderson, and this is the Novelizers.
Fabulous, truly fabulous interview.
Oh my gosh.
I think that's our show for today.
I don't know how we do it.
Quality content every single week of the year.
Yep. Take that, Rachel Maddow.
Yeah. Next week, another fabulous show. Thomas Lennon, Jamie Moyer, Mark Steinbach, Lisa Curry. Are you kidding me?
They're all greats.
All greats.
Well, I don't know how I do it, but I'm Dave Hill, and this has been Novelizers. Stephen Levinson, let's bring us home.
With pleasure, Dave. Special thanks to this week's guests, David Wain, Ursula Lawrence, and Grant O'Brien. The Novelizers is hosted by Dave Hill with Stephen Levinson and produced by Stephen, Cole Emhoff, Graham Douglas, Kevin Carter, Christine Bullen, Dennis DeClaudio, and Rob Kuttner, and distributed by Cincinnati Public Radio. Mixed and edited by Graham Douglas. Music by Cole Emhoff. Art direction by Crystal Dennis. Theme song written by Andrew Lynn and performed by Nick Testa. Follow the Novelizers on Threads, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and support us on Patreon. The Novelizers is an unauthorized work of parody. Copyright 2025, Novelizers, LLC. Take us out, Dave Hill.
There was a baby put in the corner. There was a guy who could give your mama boner. He taught her dancing, it took a minute, and she flew into his arms just like an egret. Novelize that movie, write a book, and also read it to me.